So you can see this is Selworthy Grove. You can see some of these oceanfront lots that have come up. And then you can see here that it's got our name, the block and parcel number, and the size of the location.
Right. So, I knew you were going to do that at some point.
Since our last one, we've actually had a great response and a lot more questions coming through. So today we're going to try and answer them questions with myself, Mr. Blake, and our number one, Ellie. So, Ellie, let's begin.
So, one of the most common questions we've received is from people approaching retirement age, and they're all asking the same thing. Is it peaceful or is it isolated?
I think the first thing is to understand the difference between peaceful and isolated. Peaceful is obviously, in my opinion, more laid back, more relaxed, whereas isolated is more cut off from the world. And I think everybody, at least everybody that I speak to, is a little bit different in the way they want it. I get clients that say, I do want to be more isolated, I want to be away from everything, I like to sort of be out on my own. Whereas other people will say, I want to be in a peaceful area, not where all the tourists are going to be, but I want to be close enough that I can access all of that.
I think it depends on what location they pick as well, whether it be Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac or Little Cayman. That's the benefits with each island.
And I think as well, though, we're obviously talking Cayman Islands as a whole here, not just one island. And I don't think any island as a whole is isolated. There's areas that you could be more remote in, but I'd say overall, peaceful.
Yeah. You've definitely got the connectivity. I mean, even with the taxi planes that take you between the islands, you know, if you felt like you wanted something different for the weekend, it's so easy to just jump over to Grand Cayman. If that's the type of lifestyle that you're looking for, you know, you just want to be laid back, you want to be next to the beach.
And isolated and peaceful are very similar.
Oh, well, yeah.
I think so.
In what way?
Well, because Little Cayman is it's isolated from, you know, not like Grand Cayman, so it's a little bit isolated. But it's still got all the, you know, the function, the activities there.
Well, that's the point. Is, you know, you've still got medical care, which you'd hope for, especially someone looking at retirement age. You've got medical care, you've got hotels, restaurants, bars. You know, on Cayman Brac, you've got Faith Hospital. That's like any standard size hospital you expect to see anywhere even in a major city. Faith Hospital. Grand Cayman still on medical care. We've got next to Signature One,
the Shetty Hospital,
Health City,
which is also recently expanded into Camana Bay. So that's still expanding. I know is a big point for our Signature One clients.
So if you want to be on a peaceful location, really it's going to be Little Cayman, Cayman, right? They're the most peaceful ones. Not like Grand Cayman, I would say.
Well, I'd say the East End, though, that's still a peaceful area.
Yeah, east up into the northern end. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example.
We've just gone right round in a circle here.
I had a client just the other day who's out in Texas and basically lives on acres and acres and acres of land, and said he can look from any window on his ranch and see nothing for miles. And he's lived his life like that always, but he's looking for places like the Cayman Islands where he wants to go and retire, but he wants that same sense of living. But then at the same time, he was explaining he can jump in his truck and he can drive down to town in like 30, 40 minutes. And I think there's a lot of areas in Cayman where you can have that. You know, maybe not land of that size, but you can certainly be in an area where you're a little bit more isolated. You know, and if that's what you class as peaceful, but then you want to still be able to jump in the car and head down to town. And some people really vision the retirement to be like that. Obviously a little bit different than Texas because you've got the beaches, you can go out fishing, you can go for walks up and down the beach of a morning or night. And I think that's a lot of people with retirement look for that type of thing.
Yeah.
But they want the amenities there.
That's what I was going to say. If you don't want that peaceful, isolated is the word it's used. You know, we have those locations that are sort of more central, but that's you can still achieve that peaceful atmosphere.
When they explain that to the agent they're dealing with, you can explain all that to them.
Oh, of course.
And I think the good thing, we have locations that cover all those type of things anyway.
Yeah,
from 100%. You know, more busier areas, more hustle and bustle, to a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more isolated.
Yeah. When you're retired, you want that nice beach bar. We go down.
Oh. Yeah. Are you talking from experience?
Yeah. Why would you say that? I'm not on retirement age yet. So
at this table.
Not far.
But, yeah. Cheers for that. So. You know, it's basically everything's on every island that you want. If you want to retire and you want to enjoy that lifestyle, you've got Little Cayman. I think they're all the same. You know?
But also, like your favourite point, 2 out of the 3 islands have got international airports. So they can't be so isolated.
And Little Cayman, with its small domestic airport, what we call a taxi plane going continuously backwards and forwards all day. So you're never completely isolated. You've got the options.
And one thing I was actually surprised by, this is a number of years ago now, I was on a walk in Grand Cayman and they had 5G connectivity before we did. I don't know about the rest of the UK, but it was certainly before where we are located.
And I think it's another thing when you are dealing with people who are retired to give them some ideas that maybe they've not even thought about as well, because a lot of people dream of the beaches and dream of the the peaceful laid back lifestyle, but like you said about the medical care, it's always good to touch point with people on that so that they know for the future the connectivity if they've got family that want to come in or out and visit. And then like you've said, is Cayman is advanced in where it is. It's probably the most developed, or one of the most developed Caribbean islands that there is. So even though you can have all this laid-back, peaceful lifestyle, you have got first world-class infrastructure.
So I think that's one of the things. If you were relocating from your sort of home, you've got kids, grandkids, you still want that connectivity. So what I'm saying with the 5G and the high-speed internet, you can still FaceTime your family if you want. There's the 2 international airports, meaning they can fly in, they can fly out. You can fly in and fly out to see them.
With no issues, no connectivity issues. So I think these are all things that some people don't think about when they're talking about retirement.
One of the, like we've just said about Little Cayman, that community we have there, Turtle Crossing, literally walking distance that big, but you've got everything.
Yeah, that's a lovely location, Turtle Crossing.
Yeah, 100%.
And then I think another thing is to talk about the type of things that you can do.
Yeah.
When you're there, when you're retired, because again, a lot of people can overlook this as well. Everybody goes to the obvious. It's Cayman. We can go out on boats. We can go fishing. We can go to the beach. But there's also a lot of areas where you can go hiking. Bird watching. We've got a lot of hike trails, even into the caves on Cayman Brac. And I remember from it's actually on one of our YouTube channels where I'd done an interview.
I was going to mention that.
Yeah, with the woman originally from the UK. She lived in Grand Cayman, then she went to Cayman Brac. And she's just retired and running a couple of Airbnbs. And she sets up a lot of community-led clubs.
Yeah.
And
on Cayman Brac?
On Cayman Brac.
Did I meet her?
I don't think
no, Blake did that.
That's what he did with the interview.
Featherstone.
With the
Featherstone, yeah.
It's on the YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. But again, there are things to think about in retirement life as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the big things is the community, the people on Cayman Brac.
Yeah.
A great community of people. You'll get all different social clubs as well. Throughout the Cayman Islands.
Oh yeah. I think the Featherstone interview is particularly great though for what the people are asking these questions for, because one, she's originally from the UK, so she's used to being from this type of and she's moved over somewhere like that. She also talks about a lot of what is going on Cayman Brac at the point of the interview, which I think was about 12 months ago or just over. She talks about a lot what's happening at Cayman Brac at that point, what's to come, how it's changed, what she gets up to, because she originally lived on Grand Cayman, didn't she? And then just thought, I'm going to Brac. I'm not leaving here now. So that's a really good interview. We'll link it below.
Did she just go to Cayman Brac for the rental man? I've seen the video, but did she actually go there just for the rental man?
Yeah.
She went to Grand Cayman initially, and she was living in Grand Cayman. She was in a relationship. And then from there she decided to go to Brac, because just as she started to acclimatise with Cayman, she started to enjoy Brac more.
Yeah, she said originally...
A lot of people do that, don't
they? Well,
she
got the Airbnb just to have within her sort of portfolio, and then I guess got there and thought, I'm staying here. And
I watched
she
that
moved
video
there.
on Lessador the other day. It looks amazing. When it shows you all what they've done and about the food and fantastic.
But even Lessador, in the recent years, they've opened their beach club. So it started just with the farm to table.
Really nice as well,
hotel, kitchen.
This is a lot of stuff though that you can't even find online.
No.
Because it's not like in other places where they'll advertise all different community clubs. The great thing with Cayman is it's just about meeting people.
Yeah, word of mouth.
And it is a very, very friendly place. People will speak to you in the shops.
That Lessador though, there's a video on YouTube on that.
Yeah.
Actually, for them. Brilliant video, absolutely brilliant.
But what I'm saying is,
if anyone wants to watch
outside of the internet, there's a lot of things that you can pick up when you're there in Cayman.
Which is part of, I guess, what we're trying to achieve here. In a lot of these podcast videos that we're going to do, I know some people are listening, not seeing, but if you do head to our YouTube, you can watch them all. We will be inserting. We will be inserting clips of the places we're talking about, because, like Blake said, a lot isn't on social media. They don't have websites, but it is there and it's great.
It's more or less just there for the local community.
Yeah, so
retire into that.
You will see more of that as these podcasts go on.
I think another thing with retirement as well is thinking about the budgeting. Now, this is something that I do get asked quite often, where people are looking for retirement. Is it expensive? You know, is my lifestyle going to cost a lot? And one of the things I always start with is say, well, first of all, Cayman's tax neutral, so you're not going to be paying those annual land and property taxes. You're going to be saving money there straight away. But I think people have this idea in mind that Cayman can be really expensive, and it can be if you're going to come into those main tourist areas.
Yeah.
If you're going for dinner every night on 7 miles.
It's like anywhere.
Exactly.
I was in New York and it was so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the most expensive places I've been to.
Yeah, you get off that
Actually,
track,
that,
you step away from those tourist areas and you start getting more involved in the local community, and you've got the fishermen coming in at 5 a.m. with fresh
that's
fish
lovely
and
when we went on walk.
Right on Georgetown.
On our walks.
On all 3 islands they do it. You know, and you can buy your fish from them.
Yeah.
You don't even need to go to the shop. You go to the local stores. People grow their own fruit and vegetables at their own
And the
property.
markets, do you remember the markets when you're driving down to East End? You see the market.
Oh, like the fruit stands, yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant places to go.
But everybody just has this perception in mind. I've been to Cayman, I've had a vacation there, and it was very expensive. It's designed that way to capitalise on the tourism, but you get into your normal way of life, and I think Cayman, personally, you're getting great food, healthy food.
Oh, honestly, the
really
best.
fresh,
I've
healthy
never
food.
ever had a bad meal.
You're
ever.
having a healthy lifestyle
In Cayman.
by the ocean.
No,
never.
no, excellent food.
Healthy lifestyle by the ocean, and you can really, I could probably live in Cayman for less than what I live right now, having great food, great lifestyle. There's more to do. Much more to do, and I think that's important to consider with retirement and relocating.
And an endless supply of fish food.
Fish food?
Fish food. That's what you call it, isn't it?
It's what you feed your fish.
Oh, not fish food, I mean the fish in the sea food.
Okay.
And then obviously, you know, a lot of people also...
I didn't mean the food that you feed the
I know
fish.
what you meant. Seafood.
I mean, there is a lot of that as well. But
Seafood.
Seafood.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know, a lot of people look for the security and safety. They want to know if this is legitimate. They want to know if it's a safe place to be. Is owning here legitimate? Is it secure? Which is obviously something you deal with quite a lot.
Yeah, so I think today, obviously you can see Blake and I have got our iPads.
You're not me, I don't need an iPad. I just go off on every question.
That is your computer.
Yeah, intelligence. 18 years.
We touched on, I think, the land registry and a few
Last time.
verifications in our last podcast. So we thought, what better than to actually show you these registries and how to get some of the verification that we discussed. So we're going to start with the land registry and show how all the lots within the whole Cayman Islands, all the locations, is registered with the government with the name. So I'll do that
this is
first.
Public record.
This is public record.
Anybody can access it.
So we're going to start on the land registry that we pay a subscription for. I wouldn't say the average person would need that subscription, but I'm also going to show how you can, say if you were looking at a location, you have the block and parcel number, how you can get the land registry certificate from the government, which I think costs about 14 CI dollars.
Yeah.
So I'll show you all that. So we'll start. Maybe I'll show it to Anwar so you can be my explainer. So what we do is we go on it's called K-Map, but it's through the Cayman Islands Land Registry System. So as you can see, that's Grand Cayman. And then it's not gonna let me swipe, but there we go. Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. So you've got all three. And you can see as you zoom in, how you start to see more detail and more locations. You can see the block and parcel starting to form. So what we can do is we can type in on here owner name. So we're of course Oasis Land Development Limited. Submit.
Right, so let me get this right. So you're typing the Oasis Land Developments, and this will show you where Oasis Land Developments own locations. Is that
exactly.
Right? Okay.
So it's just given us...
So a client can actually go on this if they wish, and they can make sure that we are the owners.
Well, I can't imagine that clients would sign up for and pay this subscription fee.
It's not just a one-off fee then?
No, it's an annual fee. However, I am going to show how they can request documents for the specific location that they're looking at. So you can see this is Selworthy Grove. You can see some of these oceanfront lots that have come up. And then you can see here that it's got our name, the block and parcel number, and the size of the location.
Right.
So that's the land registry. So we can send our clients screenshots.
I was going to say, can we send them, if their client actually requests that, we can actually send a screenshot, send it to the client, and the client can see that
so we can send
the actual legal owners.
All sorts of things. You can just see the location with the block and parcel.
Can you do it on individual plots as well?
Yeah, look, that's this one on Selworthy Grove.
Fantastic.
You can see the topography. So we can see that that's 82 feet above sea level. We can see in aerial view.
And I think all of this offers really a lot of security because it's
detailed. Oh, it's definitely.
It's detailed. It's registered with government.
Yeah.
You know, and there are a lot of places in the world that don't have this type of custodial system.
It's not that, like you say, it just gives a peace of mind that this is actually from the government website.
Oh, directly, yeah. I mean, you can see at the top here, the URL that I'm on is caymanlandinfo.ky. So then, do you want to write this one down? 110A, this block and parcel, so I don't forget it.
1 second. We can try. Go on. I don't know whether it'll let me because I'm on the same program as you.
Can't we get a screenshot of that and put it on the proposals as well?
There is a screenshot. So
from that website?
Yeah. Oh. So we then can go on the caymanlandinfo.ky website. This is so clients themselves can request the information, like I just said, without, if they don't want it through us, they want it independently provided to them. Mm-hmm. So they can just go on this website and go into services and then go into document request. So land register, we can't get words out today. Request a certified or uncertified copy of a land register using either the block and parcel or street address. So that's 14 KYD. So you just add it in, add your block into that. Ours was 110A. Mm-hmm. 110A. And then the parcel, 298.
Didn't give me the parcel. But go on, 298.
Let's just put this in.
So this is relating to Selworthy Grove?
This is just...
1 away.
So are you sure you don't want a certified copy? So, I mean, you can get it certified, but if it's just for your own records, I don't see why you would need it. But either way, you can have it certified. Add to cart.
So this now is actually going to give them a copy of the title deed.
Copy of the title deed.
That title deed document will display.
Yeah.
Any restrictions, any covenants, everything that client
direct
needs to
the client,
Perfect.
from the government. Yeah. Oasis are not involved in the... Well, we can provide it. However, if you do want it independent, we're not involved in that at all. Type your details in, submit order, and there you go. You've got your own land registry certificate.
Simple.
And I think while we're on that, because again, we did touch on it on the last podcast, but I do think safety and security is a big thing for everybody. You know, and in addition to having transparency on things like this, you've got ourselves, Oasis Land Development, we've got Certificate of Good Standing.
Yeah.
In the Cayman Islands.
That's our next point.
These are all in the proposals as well. Which
yeah,
is
they
great,
are.
So the clients can clearly see.
We openly provide all these documents. We're a member of the
AIPP.
And I'm a member of the AA, the Automobile Association, in case my car breaks down.
So we have a membership number with them as well.
Yeah, so I've got actually both of them on my trusty iPad here. So I'll show you how to, so on my screen, I know you guys can't see it right now, is the screen's recorded, so we can just put it on. The certificate of good standing, and then you can see at the bottom, which can I highlight that on here? Yeah, our authorization code, and then you can also see at the top the other number, CR214. So we'll go here on to the registry.gov.ky. This is a Cayman Islands online general registry. Certificate and stamp document validation. So I've already added in here the authorization code that I highlighted and the entity file number, which was a CR number. So you can type them both in. Again, like Anwar said, these are on our better proposal links. Yeah. We can also provide you with them. So add those two numbers in, click here to validate a certificate. This certificate was issued by the Cayman Islands Land Registry for Oasis Land Development Limited.
Imagine people watching that now, they'll be like, wait a minute, what did you say? Roll that back a minute.
No, well, this is going to be on our screen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process that clients can follow, but then, and this obviously, especially things like with the AIPP certificates and things like that, you know, it's all accountability.
Yeah.
I think the simple way to say it is everything is provided on the better proposals when the client sees it.
Yeah, of course, but this is just a way that clients can validate it.
Yeah.
You know, some people do, so just on the AIPP as well, aipp.org.uk, this isn't just for UK, this is 380 corporate members in 31 countries, protecting purchasing land or property in foreign.
Yeah. And how long have we been a member of that now? If I remember, quite a few years, isn't it?
Over 10 years, but this certificate you'll see just to clarify, was issued in April 2025.
Yeah.
That's just for this new certificate.
And again, that's in the better proposals as well.
Again, yeah, also that's where I've pulled it from. And then once you type our information in, you'll see us there. Member since, here we go, 1st of April 2015.
Yeah,
yeah.
10 years. How time's gone so quick.
And that offers obviously a code of conduct that we need to follow as a developer. We have accountability. But again, like Ellie said, it's all to protect the client.
Oh yeah, everything.
Everything's to protect the client. But you know what, even on a basic level for clients that might not want to go into this type of technicality, we're always doing everything that we can do anyway. I mean, I do a lot of site videos where I'll walk around and it's just kind of freelance.
Yeah, they're great. They're on our YouTube. Yeah, they're brilliant.
This is your infrastructure, here's your market caps in the ground, this is what's in the surrounding area. We've started doing virtual tours with clients.
Do you use any of them?
Yep, I do. And the one good thing, there's always, if they ever go on them links, you can see clearly Anwar, who you can always contact and get all your questions answered.
Oh,
you'll see it on most of TikToks and YouTubes, it's all the details there.
So we're always trying to display what we can display to make it as real as it needs to be for you to feel comfortable. If you wanted to go to the next level of, your own peace of mind.
And if you don't, I have just done it for you. So.
And if the client doesn't understand it, they can actually seek legal advice as well. So,
yeah, of course.
Advice, so, like I said,
well, these are just easy things that, cost $20, and you verified us as a company, the land location you're looking at, and
yeah. So let's just go back a little bit now then. So you've got clients that might be looking to retire, you've got clients that might be looking to relocate there, so they're going to purchase the land, that's the first thing. I think another thing that gets asked quite a lot, and it does come up on the comments, is when they're saying about the future build or any other fees or anything like that. And I think one thing to speak about is there's some recent waivers.
Yeah, we touched on it last week, didn't we? But we didn't go into it.
I think now we've got the blogs out.
Yeah.
We've got all the updated information out about it. And having these waivers in place is obviously really, really advantageous for people that do want to go and make that move.
Yeah. And it's simple. It's a very simple process as well. And that's one thing. And a lot of clients say, well, if I buy the land, what about the build? And they've got to understand we're with them every step of the way as well, to advise even to the build, even we're giving the architectural villa designs, the advice on the stamp duty like you just said. So it's a package we put together for the clients.
Do you want to touch on that stamp duty?
I was going to say, that stamp duty, just to make it really clear for what it is as well. It's 100% waiver on the stamp duty on the sister islands, 100% waiver until 2030.
Yeah,
so it's a long time.
The caveats in that though.
Go on.
So you have to build within 2 years of exchanging title.
That's right.
Which Anwar here let me know that this morning.
Yeah, you were reminded about it.
Yeah.
So again, these are just all added benefits. No annual land taxes, no annual property taxes. You've got stamp duty waivers that's in play. There's a lot of really, really good incentives here for people that do want to go and retire, people that do want to go and live.
They're not having to wait a long time either for the build.
Not at all.
A lot of our locations have complete ready to build, which is the great opportunity. So they don't have to wait until the roads are in, electrics are in.
Well, on build, the waiver for Cayman Brac isn't just on stamp duty. They've also got the import waiver for building materials.
So true, yeah.
And I really do think there's a lot of incentives in place, and obviously the starting point is for people finding the right location.
Yeah.
And a lot we make it easy with an interest-free payment plan. But then you've got all the way through till 2020, 30 to plan what you're going to do next. And the true reality is this. A lot of people might think, I'm buying in the Cayman Islands, I'm going to build. A lot of this might not be happening, which really is not true.
No.
There's a lot of construction taking place.
Well, that in itself, I mean, the import waiver was already in place in Cayman Brac, and it's now been obviously extended, but that's also been extended to Little Cayman. Yeah. So it shows that, the government want that construction to start.
When you notice, when I was there last time, look how many people are taking advantage of that right now.
Yeah, Little Cayman, I was really surprised. And not just, smaller properties, they were quite substantial, impressive houses that were being built.
That's in and around our developments as well.
When I was there, Little Cayman, I spoke to a lot of people when I was at the beach bar. Talking to local people.
Oh, Anwar loved Kingston Bight Beach Bar.
And amazing. If you ever go to Little Cayman, go to that bar. The guy there is amazing. You can buy a t-shirt as well, and you can put your name on the wall. But you speak to a lot of people, and a lot of new people, they've just moving there, they're building there, and it shows, even over the years now, I've seen a lot of changes going on.
Oh, every time.
This isn't a future plan for people. It's currently happening right now. You know, you've got everything accessible. I mean, there's build merchants on almost every island. You've got contractors out on every island, machinery out on every island. You've got all the waivers that's in place.
Yeah. And it's like I said, that's on Little Cayman. On Cayman Brac's the same.
Yeah.
I went there to a beach bar near Alexandra Hotel.
Another beach bar.
Yeah, again. So I was talking to the people
You've not
there.
figured out yet. Anwar beach bar.
But again, a lot of people, you see a lot of new faces.
Oh.
And a lot of people developing, a lot of people moving over to Cayman Brac. So, yeah.
I think you actually interviewed with a construction worker on, was it Little Cayman?
Little Cayman,
yeah. That's a really good video as well.
One of the things that surprised me is a lot of people will say, you know, how long is it going to take to do the build? This was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And these guys were on site working on a Sunday, and they were literally, they had the foundation, the hole out ready to put the foundations and the tanks in.
Yeah.
In the bottom of the building. He said, you know, within 12 months this will be up.
Mm.
And it didn't surprise me because they were there physically working on a Sunday.
Well, let's hope we see that up next time.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
It will be.
And you know, another thing as well that I enjoy when we're working with clients that do want to relocate or clients that do want to retire, you can actually work with them on that plan.
Mm.
I mean, we're obviously offering 0% interest-free payment plans over 6 years. If somebody was to say to me, you know, I'm retiring in 10 years, you know, and I want to start planning for that now, where you've got 6 years where you can make the cost of your land purchase really affordable. You can spread the cost of your land. Then after that, you can consider your build. You're still going to be within a period of concession. And
but a lot of clients, I mean, I get a lot of clients that turn and say, well, look, can I build within the payment term? And that can be authorised as well.
Yeah.
And then they can take full advantage of this offer. Maybe they don't want to wait till that long.
You even get clients that pay off early. We've got flexibility on every level, but what I'm talking about more is retirement planning, working with clients. I'm retiring in 10 years. Okay, well, you can do this in the first 6 years, then you can start looking at contractors, then you've got time to build.
But a lot of clients will want to take the waiver opportunity. Let's not forget that.
It's till 2030.
Yeah, 2030.
Yeah.
So it's 2026 now. So if my calculation's right. Ellie?
I think it's right.
So clients can obviously pay off early, build within the interest-free payment term.
I think the point is...
And they can take advantage of
the options are open.
And the rental market, which is exceptional on both Little Cayman and Cayman Brac, as well as Grand Cayman, of course.
Of course.
So they've got the advantages there. So they don't have to wait. They can build when they're ready.
I think there's a lot of flexibility.
Oh.
A lot.
In Cayman and with Oasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no restrictions.
Especially with Oasis, I agree with that.
No restrictions on any of the foreign ownership or anything like that. It's, you know, for a lot of people, they don't need to apply for visas or, you know, they can stay there for longer periods. That's another thing as well. You know, clients that legally own property can stay up to 12 months of the year. They can leave, they can re-enter.
And the families as well.
Yeah.
So that's a big advantage.
It is. You know, when you put all this together, it is a really flexible place to consider.
Amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
And it helps that it's gorgeous. And hot, and there's so many beach bars.
Yeah, and beach bars. International airports.
Yeah. Oh, so many international airports.
So, I knew you were going to do that at some point. So, I mean, for a lot of people, it's just a case of them choosing what's going to fit best for them, looking at the lots, looking at the locations. We'll guide them through, we'll help them. I mean, me and Anwar are doing it all the time, listening to what people are looking for, whether they want that peaceful or that isolated. Whether they want to be in the hustle and bustle. You know, we'll consider everything and we'll try to guide people in the right direction to see what they've got. They can check all the legal documents.
Like I've shown them how.
Like you've
well done,
perfectly demonstrated.
Thank you.
They can see all of the YouTube channels, they can see all the live videos on the ground, all the personal videos, selfie videos.
And we're always creating more for clients to see.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's like now doing these questions, you know, these are questions that clients are answering, so we're answering them for the clients to make sure they're getting the right advice as well. But they'll speak to the agents when they ring up and, you know, we're going to give them the right direction, more advice when they require it.
And I think this is a good point as well, because we're starting to move more into clients that want to book calls with us. And it's not a sales pitch call, it's not to make it's more of a clarity call. And I want to get the information, but I'd like to hear the information from you. I've been doing this for nearly 18 years. I've been doing it for nearly 18 years. And I'd be the same. If I want advice on something, I do go online and I do check things online. But sometimes
of course, which you should.
It's better to hear it from somebody that can give you the knowledge and advice and not feel like you're being pushed or sold to or anything like that. You know, just collect as much information.
Well, exactly. A lot of our clients, you know, they have been sort of watching our videos, seeing our social media a long time before they do come to purchase with us or to even just have a conversation. So all these things are helping build trust in not just Oasis, but in you when I email, you know, helps everyone.
100%.
And I'll say this just as we get into some final wrap up on this now, so this podcast doesn't go on for 2 hours. You know, even if clients do see a location that they do like, but they still want to spend the time to ask questions, get more clarity, what you've demonstrated, check things online, we'll allow a client to hold a location off the market with a $250 fee, which is totally refundable.
Yeah.
Just so that there is no risk element of somebody else taking that location, if that's where they truly vision themselves. And then we'll still continue to spend more time with them until they make any decisions.
But also, I think it's worth noting, you know, we will still give you information before that reservation period.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm talking if they've seen a location.
No, of course. I just want to, you know, not scare anyone off. That,
yeah, you are scaring people, Blake. And no, it's right what Ellie just said. But a client, like you said, we advise the client,
of course,
and then we give the client advice. We send them a personalised proposal. They can take time, have a look at it, make sure it's right for them. Come back and say, you know, look, let's hold it. We'll get the draft agreements to you for your viewing for that location and more information. And you know, then they can make that decision whether to purchase or not. Nothing to lose, but everything to
gain. Oh,
we made a song on that at some point.
Nothing to lose, but here we're gonna get my friend.
So. On that, I think we've obviously shown that there is more clarity to this. There is a lot more transparency.
Yeah.
And then
100%.
we're here to personally guide you through if you've those
Anwar
questions.
is always available.
I'm Blake. And everyone else that works here.
The whole team's available.
Yeah.
So remember the whole team, Anwar and Blake.
So keep your comments coming in. You know, keep commenting on our social media, write into us, phone us, tell us, ask the questions, give us what it is that you want to hear so that we can sit and have open discussions like this about it.
That we love.
Maybe and if you want to speak to any of us, just ring up, you know, let us know, just speak. I want to speak to Anwar, no problem, I'm always going to be available.
Okay. Yeah, you can book a call, I think we'll be in the links below.
That's it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you.